Today we're talking about my top 5 picks for the best audio interfaces under $200. So if you guys are currently on a budget and you guys are shopping for audio interfaces, then this is the perfect video for you. And if you guys want to know what my top 5 picks are, stick around after this introduction. Welcome everybody, I'm Dan Spencer and I am the Audio Sorcerer. So this is the channel where I teach you how to perfect your audio recording, mixing, and mastering skills. So before we get to the video, make sure you guys smash that like button, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to know when I have new videos coming out. So without further ado, today we are talking about my picks for the top 5 best audio interfaces for under $200. So some things that we need to talk about when it comes to audio interfaces are their connection types. So when you get under $200, you're going to be pretty limited, pretty much to just USB. So when you start getting to more expensive audio interfaces, you get introduced to things like Thunderbolt, as you can see on the page here where my mouse is at, and also PCIe. All right, so these are going to be a lot faster connections, which is fine. You're not going to really need to deal with that when you're beginning to record. All right, these are going to be needed for more advanced studios and engineers and projects. Okay, so don't worry about that. So what I'm showing you in this video is pretty much going to cover all of your needs. These products are very good and that's why I picked them. And if you end up liking any of them, I do have a link in the description below where you can go and purchase them. So definitely check them out if you like any of them. So with that being said, let's actually get to our first audio interface. We're going to start at the cheapest price and work our way up to the most expensive. So our first one is the M-Audio M-Track Duo. Alright, so the M-Audio M-Track Duo here is only $69. So that's an amazing price. It has 2 inputs here. It has an output for headphones and it has outputs for studio monitors. So let's take a look at a different view here. So right here, these are your 2 microphone inputs and they double up as line inputs. So if you click this little knob over to the little guitar icon here, it'll become a line input. And then you can plug in your 1/4" cable right into the middle here, and then you can use it for guitar, for piano, or any other line instrument. Now over here, we got our phantom power knob for your microphones, and then we got our headphone output, and then we have direct mono, direct stereo, and USB for your output, okay? So let's go to a different view here. Now, for our main outs here, for your studio monitors, you got 2 1/4" outputs for stereo, and then you got your USB connection. So that is pretty much all of the connections that exist on this box, and that's quite a bit for $69. Now, one thing I should mention is, to my knowledge, this box is strictly stuck at 48 kilohertz sampling rate, which is perfectly fine. I tell everybody to record at either 44.1 or 48 because when you are doing music, you're going to bounce down to 44.1 anyway. And if you're making stuff for film or YouTube videos per se, like I record this for YouTube right now, I'm doing my audio at 48. So this would be perfect for either scenario because though you're recording at 48, you could still bounce down to 44.1. All right, so this will work for all your scenarios. So that is our first interface here. Let's move on to the next one, which is the Focusrite Scarlett Solo 3rd generation. Alright, so we got the Focusrite Scarlett Solo 3rd generation audio interface here, which comes in at $119. And as you guys know that follow me, I love Focusrite products. I actually have a Scarlett in my studio. I have a 1st generation, a little bit larger one than this one, but nonetheless, I actually love it. I think it sounds great. And I think the mic preamps on these are fantastic. So let's take a look at this here. So this one here has 1 microphone input on it. And it has 1 line input on it, and then it has a headphone out, and then it has monitoring for your studio monitors. So let's take a look at some of the different connections here. So we got also 1/4" outputs for your monitors, just like the M-Audio one. Now what's awesome about this one here is this one is like modern and up to date and uses USB-C, which is great. So that's going to be a nice fast connection for you. and it's going to get powered from your computer, okay? So you don't even have to plug this into an outlet. It gets power from your computer, okay? So it's portable, it's small, and it sounds great, and I love this interface. So lastly, I want to mention this interface can record up to 192 kilohertz, so that is extremely high. Now, you're probably never going to record up that high, but hey, you got the option here, and it exists with this interface, okay? So let's move on to our third interface, which is the Presonus Studio 24C. All right, so we got the Presonus Studio 24C USB-C audio interface here, and this comes in at $159. As you can see, it has two inputs on it here. They double up as mic and line inputs, and this has headphone outs and studio monitor outputs. So let's take a look at the back view so you can see that. So you got 1/4-inch outputs for your mains, just like the other ones, and then you got 1/4-inch for your headphones. Now the cool thing about this one here is this comes with MIDI in and outputs. So if you happen to have a keyboard, maybe a large keyboard or an older keyboard that has these MIDI connections, you can get MIDI cables and plug them right into here and then be able to utilize your MIDI keyboard as a control surface to, trigger virtual instruments in your DAW. So that's actually how I use my keyboard. So for me, out of the interfaces we looked at so far, I would actually need this one, okay? So moving on here, we got our USB-C connection here, which is great. Again, USB-C is very fast, all right? So that is pretty much the main connections on this interface. So this one can also record up to 192 kilohertz, all right? So it can do very high resolution. So the question you would need to ask yourself between this one and maybe the Focusrite is, do I need these MIDI connections? And also, do I need an extra mic input? That's the main difference between this one and the Focusrite. And it's a $40 difference between the two, okay? So let's move on to our fourth audio interface, which is the MOTU M2 2x2. All right, so we got the MOTU M2 2x2 USB-C audio interface here, and this comes in at $179. So I absolutely love MOTU products, and that stands for Mark of the Unicorn. My very first audio interface was actually a MOTU, and I think I got it like in, I don't even know, like maybe 2001, 2002, many years ago. So let's take a look at this here. So we got two inputs here. Again, these can double up as microphone or line inputs. You got nice monitoring meters here, so that's fantastic. And then you got a monitoring knob for your studio monitor outputs, and then you got your headphone output here. So let's take a look at some of the different connections. All right, so here's our back. So for our monitor outputs, you have two different options on this one. You could do 1/4-inch for your studio monitors or RCA outputs. And then on this one, you also have MIDI in and outputs. And this one is also USB-C, which is great. And it's powered over your computer. So this one is very similar to the Presonus, and it's like $10 more, so pretty much count as the same price. And if we scroll down here, we'll see that it can go up to 96 kilohertz. So it will not go up to as high as our last two audio interfaces. But again, don't let that deter you, because I'm telling you, you are never ever going to record at 192 kilohertz, okay? You're probably never going to record at 96. I'm telling you, you're going to go between 41 and 48. So again, don't let that deter you. This is a great audio interface here. So let's move on to our last audio interface, which is the IK Multimedia AXE I Solo 2x3. All right, so we got the IK Multimedia AXE I Solo 2x3 here. And this one says it is a guitar audio interface, but it's not strictly for guitar. It will also do a microphone. So this one is a little bit different. So it basically has an input for your guitar or line instrument here. It also has your headphone out here. Has an amp out, so you can actually put this into a guitar amplifier. So let's take a look at the back here. So you got controls for switch pedals, you got line outs for your studio monitors, and here's where your actual microphone input is. So it has one microphone input. This will also double up as a line input. You do also have MIDI on here, and it does have 2.0 USB on it. All right. So this one's, kind of, it's different. It is focused more around guitar, but it's pretty cool. And something else that's really neat about this interface is that, let me scroll down here. So if you were to get this, they're going to give you Amplitude 4 Deluxe with this. And that's, I don't know how much Amplitude is these days. I know they have Amplitude 5 out now, but this is over a $200 program. So you're getting that included with it. You're also getting 10 T-Rack singles. So these are plugins, and I have the T-Rack suite, and I can tell you there's many great plugins in here. You also get a Ableton Live 10 Lite license. So that'll be the light version of the software. So you'll be limited with that. So I'm not gonna say that that's great, but these first two are pretty amazing. Okay. So this is just kind of a unique interface, and it will actually go up to 192 kilohertz also. All right. So I definitely really like this interface, and I love IK Multimedia products. I use a lot of their plugins in my studio. I use their Arc 3 system to actually tune up my studio monitors. So I think they make great products, and I definitely put the Audio Sorcerer stamp of approval on this interface. All right. So those are my 5 picks for the best audio interfaces for under $200. So I'd love to hear from you guys on, what you think of these picks, which ones you like, which ones you don't like, which are your favorites, of course. So let me know that in the comments below. And if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe because I love making this content for you, and hit that notification bell to know when I have new videos coming out. So with that being said, until the next video, I will see you guys later, and peace out.